one of them. And the reason why is because it is the most powerful, and I do believe in a community aspect of building wealth. I've always, many of you have heard the phrase that many hands make light work. Has anybody heard that phrase? Or is that just for me, right? It's one of those things that I believe in. And if everybody can do just a little, then everybody can have massive success. And so that's kind of the concept of direct sales organizations. It's not, everybody doesn't have to be a superstar. We do have a superstar in the room, right, who's sponsored 59, going to be 60 people soon, right? But that's not everybody. Everybody is not going to have that kind of tenacity and or desire to go out and do that. But let me ask you this. Do you think that it's fair enough to ask to find two people who are interested in using this product and or referring it to other people? Do you think that's fair? You can find two? No? Not necessarily sold on that? Look, they're like, I'm not saying it, no matter what you say. All right, so again, if you can agree that two people is not too much, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to show you the way that this breaks down and how you can end up earning a multi-million-dollar income just starting with two people, right? So with that said, so here's you, right? You're going to build two teams. And the way that this works is you're going to get compensated based on the lesser side, right? But for now, we're going to just talk about it building equally. One side is always going to take off from you, but for now, we're just going to talk about it as if it's building equal just to keep things simple. Is that fair enough? Okay, so everybody agreed that it's fair enough just to find two people. That's something that if you're serious about being a business owner, that two people is a reasonable thing to go after. So we're going to talk about how this part works. Every time you go out and you get to the point where, every time you get to the point where you have what's called 100 points on each side, you're actually going to get a check for $25. Now, how you get points is based on either distributors and or your customers. So every month, when you have a customer that's going out and paying their $99, it's going to pay 60 points back into this structure. Okay? Everybody with me on that part? Fair enough? Okay. The other part is when you have a distributor, it's going to be worth 70 points. Again, just to keep things simple, I'm going to talk about distributors for now. Okay? If you go out and let's say this person or these two people, you teach them to do exactly what you did, which is go find two people. What's going to happen is, if all these are distributors, it's going to be 70 points, 70 points, 70 points, and the same thing is going to happen on this side. It's just a mirror image, okay? So when you're looking at this, you've got 70, 140, 210. Now, every time you get 100 and 100, they pay you $25. What's happened here twice, right? You did that same thing 2 times. So when they give you a check, how much, any guesses? What's this going to be? $50, right? It's that simple. It's not complicated as to what we do, right? Because again, when you go out and you repeat this process more and more times, it starts to add up extremely quickly. So with that said, I'm actually going to kind of show you how this can grow on just an exponential level with just following that same concept. So for anybody who knows me, knows that I'm a numbers geek, right? And what I saw when I looked at this was that, my wife and I have built organizations into the thousands before. And the highest residual income that we had ever seen was probably about $2,000. When we looked at this compensation structure, if we had plugged our existing teams into this same structure, it would have been a $37,000 a month residual. How many people would trade $2,000 for $37,000? Right? That's what we got excited about. So I'm going to show you again how this grows. So again, of this example, I'm only going to talk about one side. Again, assuming that it's an exact mirror image of the other one. So in month 1, you're going to have, when you go out and you do these, you'll have 1 rep on each side. Okay? So month 1, you got 1 rep. In month 2, you taught them to go out and do the exact same thing that you just did, and now you've got 2 new reps on that side. We'll add these up in a minute, all right? But you got 2 new reps in this month. In the 3rd month, you now have done the same thing. You taught these 2 to go get 2, and now you have 4 new reps in this month. So as we continue to go out on this process, you've got 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,048, 4,096, 8,192. So over this process, it's been 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, somewhere in between here and here, you get to the point where you hit the magic number. And inside this company, just under 12,000 reps will actually compensate you a total of $200,000 a month.
Word.
Now, I don't know about everybody's financial status, but most of the people who I have the opportunity to speak with, an extra $200,000 a month can do some things to change lifestyle. Would you agree with that? And if it's not that for you, then donate the $200,000 and be generous, right?
Right.
Donate it to your favorite charity, donate it to your favorite church, right? Whatever it may be, you have the opportunity to create something that's significant in a short period of time. Just from going out and making sure that you do your part and make the commitment of finding 2 people who will go find 2 people, right? And as you continue to do that, here's something else that's magical, right? After you've done that, you went out and you did this the first time, and you went out after 4 months, and this is going slow. Trust me, I'll actually break that down for you in just a second. This is going slow, right? But somewhere around month 4, what's going to happen is you've actually got enough people where your product is now free based on you having enough money in residual to actually cover it. Now, how many people would quit when you have enough income coming in to cover your monthly residual and you got a cool product? Doesn't happen, right? Especially when you know that there's more growth to come. So what we have is an opportunity to create a magical thing where everybody is getting compensated inside of a community that you're building and helping small business owners. Small business owners want and need the ability to market themselves online, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, the email, the text messaging. They want and need these products. So we're helping small business owners with something that they want and or need, and that can help them push their business. And at the same time, we're actually generating a significant income while doing it. To me, I can't think of anything that's more rewarding. I get a chance to sit down with a small, owner of a restaurant and show them how they can market and increase their revenue by 10, 15, 20%. And at the same time, I'm building a community where we can build wealth together. It's an awesome win-win, right? Now, some people say, well, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think it's realistic to get to the point where, you can make this happen. Well, guess what? What if it took you 3 years to make this happen instead of 14 months? What if it took you 5? What if after a year and 2 months, right, you only got 10% of this right, and you got an extra $20,000 a month coming in? Would that still be worth the time, especially on a part-time basis? Would it be worth the effort? Would it be worth the shot of paying $248 to get started and finding 2 people who are interested in making money? I don't know. That's the question I asked myself, right? The downside potential was I invested $248 and maybe it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. The upside potential was that I invested $248 and it went exactly how I wanted it to go. So with that said, I'm going to point out a couple things. And I'll use my numbers first, but I'll actually ask a couple people who are in the business right now, and they can give you their story, right? So I said, well, that's not realistic to go out and grow at that rate. Fair enough. So we've been with the business now just under 6 months, okay? And with that said, if we're looking at this, we should be at 32 people on each side, right? The numbers speak for themselves. I didn't make it up. They speak for themselves. We are actually closer to the numbers down here in month 8, based on the rate that we've been growing. Carter, let me ask you, how many people do you have in your organization total?
176.
Carter should have about 8 people on each side. I don't know if you did the math on that one really quickly, but he is well exceeded where he would have been using these things. Connie, how many people do you have on your team?
29 people in 4 weeks.
29 people in 4 weeks. So in really a month,
I should be at 1.
she should be at 1 person on each side. I don't know if the numbers seem realistic or not, but if you use what's real, how many people do you have in your organization?
61.
61. How long have you been in business?
3 months.
3 months. He should have 4 people. Do I need to continue this process so that you understand that it's absolutely powerful? Jamie, when you go to Superstar,
There you go.
Jamie, how long you been with the business?
Since, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months.
6 months. How many people do you have in your organization?
14.
Now, we are not the superstars to his level, right? We didn't have the network that he had. We built our network from basically ground up. But if you look at his numbers, he's actually total, he's probably where he should be in month 10, somewhere between 10 and 11. We're talking about creating $1 million incomes here. We're talking about doing something phenomenal, and all it takes is doing a little bit. Now, some people say, you know what, I can't find 2. Well, it's probably not for you. If you can't find 2 people out of 3.5 million just the St. Louis metropolitan area alone who are interested in finding out how to grow their business, then this probably is not for you because you don't have the right type of mindset or the right type of hustle. And I don't knock you for that, but it's probably not for you, right? But if you do have that mindset and you are willing to teach people to do what you just did, which was only find 2, you can build a dynasty. So with that said, I thank you for taking the time to come out. If there's questions, I'd love to actually answer those questions kind of on a one-off basis. We'll get to those. I think Jamie has something.
I just was going to piggyback on what you're saying because, first of all, this is phenomenal because it breaks it down to what people can understand. But here's the most important thing, because you're going to hear this when you go out there. Well, this is going to get saturated. Everybody, St. Louis is just, everybody's going to be involved. There's about 15 people in this room right now. If all 15 people went out and all you did was find those 12,000, now you take that times 2 because actually it would be 12,000 on each side. But 15 times 12 is 180. So you're talking about 180,000 people. If everybody in this room did just that, double it because of the other side, that's 360,000 people to fill out everybody's group. So everybody in this room is making $200,000. You haven't even tapped 10% of the marketplace in St. Louis. Now our group is it's not just in St. Louis. Our group is Kansas City, St. Louis, California, Russia, England. It's all over the place. Okay? So, and it's the same thing's going to happen to you guys. So if anybody says you're going to saturate the market, I don't know if I heard it down here last week or not, but somebody said, do you think we're better than God? Because God started out with 12. Jesus started out with 12 people. Today, only 3 billion people of the entire universe are churched, which means there's still 60 or 70% of the people out there that haven't even been tapped yet. So in 2,000 years, even God couldn't get saturated. You follow me? You are not going to saturate St. Louis with this program. You're not going to saturate the United States with this program. This program is going to pay huge dividends for the ones who say, I'm going to show up on Thursday at noon. I'm going to bring a couple guests. I'm going to come back at 5:30 and get a little training. I'm going to come back at 7 and bring a couple more guests. And over the course of 4 to 5 or 6 weeks in this program, just like you're hearing these stories back and forth. Some people have been in a month, some people have been in 3 months. Just like you're hearing all those stories, all of a sudden that story is going to become you. That's going to be your story. And we're just super excited. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but this group, last week, since last Thursday to today, put in 38 new people in this organization. Now, there's no other group in the country that's done those kind of numbers. Anybody. I'm talking about Russia. I'm talking about Europe. I'm talking about Brazil. I'm talking about all these places that you're hearing about. There's no core group in this organization, in Social Zing today, that put those kind of numbers in one week. This right now is the nucleus of Social Zing. And what we've got here is we've got something nobody else has. We've got the right leaders at the right time with the right program to make this thing work. And if you buy into that,
Yeah, thanks, Walt.
the next time he brings this up, you'll be one of those that we're talking about. You'll be the one with 8 or with 12, and you should have only had 2. Okay, how you like that? I mean, you've been in a month. You should only have 2 people. You're way overworking it, Candy. You're working way too hard. You've got 40 people, whatever it is.
Don't tell them
Becky has been in for
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and you've already earned $575 in bonuses,
You have 19 people.
and has 19 people in 2 weeks, and you have.
You need to take a vacation.
So the next.
It's even building, even with
What's
10
even
and
better?
9.
What's even better? She's
This thing works. Giddy up.
Yeah.